Now,
There
man, oh my god. Uh, so guys, welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast. As you know, this is Dunk, aka the Real Kid,
and this is Jared, aka Ragnarok.
and today we will be discussing relationships. Basically, breaking down how we feel relationships have changed over time. We're going to be breaking down the roles that people play in relationships and things like that. Uh, One thing for sure is one key thing is we have to realize what worked back then does not work now. Okay, in regards to how the relationship is, even though we praise it and we preach it and everything like that, it's definitely not what would work today. Only because so much things are now against it that we would otherwise be praising. Um, so, as you guys know, uh, we are in an age where independence is a huge thing. Okay, uh, I don't know. I don't feel the statistics of marriage is actually pretty low. Actually, I still think people are still getting married. I just think it's more convenient. You don't have elaborate weddings. You have more like a chapel down the street. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Or hey, we flew to Florida, signed some papers or some shit. You know what I mean? I think we're more into that aspect. Um, but we definitely have to acknowledge that right now there are a lot more people focused more on building up themselves rather than trying to build with somebody else. But that's definitely one of the key things we should be focusing on.
I agree. Because well, one, COVID doesn't help with people trying to like, oh, let's get married. It's like, nah, bro, get yourself situated now because things aren't looking good right now. So there's no point in rushing into it. Because I mean, like what mom always used to say is, I can be poor by myself. So it's like if you're struggling and your significant other is struggling, you getting married isn't really going to fix the struggling. It's just now togetherness struggling. So get yourself like that's the best way to put it.
Ew.
Get yourself situated
It's that
and then get married.
comment from
Hey
John.
John, how you doing, sir?
John types, yo guys, how's it going? Wishing y'all the best. Hey John, how you doing? How you doing? How was your day? You know, I hope your day was good, man. Uh, Actually, the stream almost didn't happen today because this man Gerard, right, is gonna hit me up talking about I'll be. I asked him how late would he be. He said 10, right? So I'm thinking this man says like 10 o'clock, like he's about to come here at 10. No, no, no. He meant 10 minutes. Mind you, though, the in the context of it, he wasn't gonna be late even if he was in 10 minutes because we still had
Yeah,
like
for
a
some
whole
reason I thought
hour
it
and a
was at
half.
I don't know why I thought it was at 7.
Bro,
When I
you
know.
you wild, bro. It was like 5:50 or something. You know,
Yeah.
I'm 10. I'll be late 10. Like, damn, like we just not gonna be able to
That's
do
not a
it.
little late.
Oh my god. But yo, so this is something. This topic today is actually something I'm really like passionate about. Only because um, I've had so many female friends that I've had to help in their relationships. Uh, and I've seen a lot of people get hurt by the wrong people and everything like that. And there was at the like, why this happened? Why that happened? Da, 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 da. So, um, definitely something I'd love to talk about, and it kind of helps. And I'm not bragging or nothing. I'm not bragging, but it kind of helps that uh, I was raised. Besides my grandfather, I was raised around mostly females. I have four sisters. I kind of made sure I understood how a female reacts and things like that. But I can't speak generally because those are just a couple of people amongst the millions and millions of females. So, but I was somebody who learned how to listen from that. So, um, it's definitely gonna it definitely helped me out in the long run. But yeah,
I did not have four sisters. I got one brother. That's it. Um I don't know. In college, like I think relationships kind of scared me in college because like so many of my friends were getting into relationships, and like a lot of them I saw fall apart hard. But I'm like, damn, bro, I don't know about this relationship stuff. But like to be fair, college, like most people aren't mature. They're not really ready for a relationship. They don't even know what they're looking for. So the odds of it working out are like, eh. Some people it does, some doesn't. But I don't know, man. I just kind of like I was the guy in the background eating popcorn, like, oh damn, they doing good, and then like a fire would break. I'm like, oh damn.
So
So
so the biggest issue I feel like when it comes to relationships in college is that you're around so much new things, right? I actually, when I went to Chestnut Hill, I was in a relationship when I went to Chestnut Hill, but the amount, like, these are now people that I'm not acquainted with. I never seen them before in my life, and I saw some pretty cute girls. You know what I'm talking about? And like, nothing against people, nothing against people, but I saw some, like, when you grow up a certain area, you think you know what thick is, and then you go somewhere else, and it's like, oh shit,
damn.
damn, like, So I started seeing thick, and I'm like, I don't think I could be in a relationship right now. No bullshit. And that's just more of a point I'm gonna speak on is that people often will cheat on each other instead of just ending the relationship, and I'll talk into why people do that. Um, well, first things first, I want to make sure that we all acknowledge that I said previously in the video already, is that what worked for our grandparents isn't gonna work now, right? All over social media. Let's go with roles first. Let's go with man and female. All right, we talked about it in a previous video as well in regards to the gender roles of males and females, but in regards to relationship, you have to realize that back then with our grandfathers and everything like that, and our grandmothers, that the grandfather had a part-time job or a full-time job. Maybe he was a mechanic, maybe he was working at a factory or anything of that sort, and he was able to put money. He could put $10 to the side every 2 weeks or something like that, and with that $10, he can go buy dinner. He can go buy a car or something like that, and pay bill. Like, it was just so much better in regards to value, right? You got what you needed through the value of the dollar, and a wife could stay at home, right? Oh, your girlfriend, she could be spoiled to the utmost extreme because your job was paying well. A minimum wage job was paying well for you and somebody else. You was getting paid $10 an hour. You and your 4 kids and your wife was good, right? But I got people on social media talking about right now your man supposed to provide for you. Your man supposed to do this. Your man supposed to do that. I'm like, yeah, sure, but only two things though. You can only do that, right? You can only be the breadwinner. You can only be the person that will be financially responsible for everything if you're bringing at least, and I'm talking about at least at the bare minimum of $80,000 an hour, right?
You mean a
Or
year?
yeah, no, a year. My bad.
I was like,
Bam, I was
oh
going to say
my
that.
oh.
That'd be some shit. I think LeBron makes $80,000. I'm not sure, but they take at least $80,000 a year, uh, and that's at the very very bare minimum. Or you're a drug dealer and your money's not recorded with the government and everything like that, so it's not taxed and shit. But you got people out here preaching. Oh, my girl don't pay for her nails. Oh, she don't pay for her weave. She don't pay for her bills and everything like that. So in my head, as a man, the one thing I'm thinking is that man is set for life then, because you know how expensive weave is. You know what I mean? Like, bro, yo, our haircuts be like $20, $25 at the most, and you got girls out here with weave like that costs like $400, and they gotta do this shit like
Can't
every
scratch it out.
every time. Like, yo, I be like, yo, you spent $300 for an itch, bro. Like, it's crazy. But I know it looked good though. I ain't gonna lie, it looked good. It looked good on some people. It looked good. So I ain't gonna front the weave. You know what I'm saying? $300, like, no, nah. But I ain't gonna front the weave, right? But that's what I'm talking about in regards to the fact that unless you're making bank, unless you're making bank, and you have so much more money to spare, there is no reason that you're promoting that a man pays for everything right now. And don't get me wrong, I was raised on the ideal that the man is the provider. The man is supposed to be the one to make sure everything is cool. But I'm not in the time period in which that is actually true unless I was bringing home bank. I'm just saying. Right now, I live in Massachusetts. The living wage in Massachusetts, you have to earn at least, I think, $27 an hour, right, to be on your own, right? So rent, everything. Yeah, yeah, bro, we expensive, right? It's expensive down here, right? Up here, and and if I brought home that much, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe, right? But in regards to the actual pay, because mind you, I don't. If I make that much, that means I'm only probably seeing 80%, 75% of that due to the tax brackets. You know what I'm saying? Even though tax brackets is technically you make this much within that bracket, and you know what I mean. But there's a whole bunch of finance talk, right? But yeah, like I just feel like we should dive more into like disproving the old narratives that people are trying to promote just to make themselves look good.
I'd agree because I don't know. Some people, it's like I guess a lot of people just want to be taken care of, and I'm like, I guess, but I mean, me personally, I don't like when people pay for stuff for me like too often. So like, like if you go out to eat with your friends, right, and they're like, I got you this time, you're like, cool, all right, I'll get you next time. And after they do it the second time, you feel a little weird. You're like, wait a minute, nah, don't don't be paying for my stuff like that. It makes me feel some type of way. But I don't know. If I was making a lot of money and it didn't really bother you, it's like paying for the stuff. You're like, all right, it's like a little something on the side. That's fine. But it's like if you're making like 60 or something like that, and you're like, all right, I'm personally by myself getting by, and they're like, hey, I want you also to pay for all my stuff. It's like, nah, bro, get a job, pay for that yourself. I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I'm struggling just to make you happy. That there's no point to that. And then later on, you're gonna have financial arguments like that. It's like, well, I buy your stuff, so we don't got no money. But like relationship, it's supposed to be teamwork. Y'all go hand in hand. And if you're not at a point where it's like when you can work, then you got to either deal with it until you're at that point, or it's just hey, for the like, for as long as we're together, both of us are working at this.
Okay, valid. Like to go back on that, yes, it is literally supposed to be a teamwork. You're so the ideal relationship, and this is why they say opposites attract, but not in the way that you think it is. It's not like this person is like extra fired up and this person's like extra down low. No, no, no. That's not what they mean by opposites attract. It means that your bad habits are countered by that person's good habits, right? Um, for example, say you're a borderline alcoholic,
Oh
right?
god.
Right? So you're a borderline alcoholic, right? So the person that would help you more isn't going to be another alcoholic or somebody who embraces you to drink. No, it's going to be somebody who does the opposite. Somebody who's going to be like, yo, put that down. Just drink some water, some juice. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that you guys have to realize. Like a relationship is about two individuals. It's not just like oh one. No, no, no. It's two individuals filling in spaces that they couldn't fill by themselves. Right. That's what they mean by making somebody complete. This is what they mean by my better half, my other half, everything like that. Even though right now it's just more like, oh, my other half. They don't really understand the meaning of it. But it's more about just making sure that everything that is about you, right? And this is why I say relationships are 50-50, right? Not 100 and 100. No, 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 no. It's 50-50 because you have to devote yourself to the relationship, but you also got to devote yourself to you as an individual, right? So half my energy is to relationship, half my energy is to me. The more I get better, the better the relationship gets better. The better the relationship gets better, the better I get better, right? Vice versa. That's how it should be. Shouldn't be 60-40. Shouldn't be 70-30. Shouldn't be 25 and 75. No, 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 no. It's supposed to be 50-50. There are going to be days where you're going to feel like, man, I can't do 50 right now. That's cool because that just means your other 50 is at work. Right? That's all it means. It just means you're spending 50% of yourself, focus on yourself, and that's cool. Right? That's where independence comes from. You gotta be independent in your relationships. Right? But don't think that dependency is a weakness, though, right? Like, I get it. I get it. Vulnerability, people are scared because they give their heart to somebody, and now that person has the power to break that heart and everything like that. But chill, 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 chill. Okay, dependency does not necessarily mean weakness. For example, when you hammer in nails, you depend on a hammer. If you cannot find that hammer, you go looking for that hammer, right? And then when you get that hammer, it's the easiest fucking nail to nail in, right? Right? You ain't gonna look for a damn. Well, Caribbean people do it, but you ain't gonna look for a damn knife with a heavy bottom and tap that shit in, right? We get random shit. We'll get a Lysol bottle and do that shit. But but overall, it's just like you got to realize there has to be a good balance. There's dependency and independency. Dependency is not about being weak. All right, vulnerability is not about being weak. It just means you're allowing something else to build you up. And if that person just so happens not to do that, then that just means you then have the choice to not become vulnerable to that person anymore. Right? And people will think, oh, that's easier said than done. No, 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 no. It's easier done than said. Right? You go out with somebody, you depend on them for your happiness or something, right? Like you're that deep in a sunken place that you're just like, I need this person around to be happy, right? That person cheats. You can leave, right? You can now focus on yourself. You can now focus on other things that you probably were ignoring. But instead, you're gonna go back, not if not go back to that person, you're gonna go back to the idea of that person and think to yourself, what did I do that made them do that? Right? So you then start to self blame, right? And that's more of a choice than it is an actual like reaction. This is a choice because you have to actually think about it. You have to actually sit there and think about it constantly in order for it to stay in your head.
Kind of bouncing off what you said with relationships 50-50. Yes. And the best part is like there are days when you don't have 50. You will be at 40, you will be at 30. But because you talk to your significant other and because you love each other so much, they were like, don't worry, I got the 60 today. And they will get you. And then there'll be days when they're low, and then you take over for a little bit. And that's okay. Because no one's perfect. We all have a low, we all have a high. But in the relationship, when it's working, we'll cover each other. Now, obviously, when it's not working out and it's always 80-20 or something, that's a huge issue. Like, you've seen it in countless movies and stuff where the person's like, you don't treat me like you used to. We don't do this. We don't do that anymore. You got comfortable. And it's like, you got to be careful of that. You can be comfortable in a relationship. That's okay. But don't get lazy to the point where it's like you're just slowly letting that gap build up. And then you're going to hit a tipping point where the one person's like, like, why am I even in this relationship? I do everything. What's the point of being together with you? It's like taking care of a child. That's also why I don't like the whole pay for everything because it's like your parents pay for everything because you can't afford to do it on your own. You can't work because you're underage, you're a kid. When you're an adult, be an adult. All right. That's kind of how I look at it.
Okay, okay. I mean, true. That actually is valid, which kind of brings into the whole 60, no, the 80-20 when it
Mm.
comes to like if that's constant, that's something to look out for. That brings me into my next mindset is y'all gotta really like acknowledge what red flags are. Okay, red flags aren't annoyances. Red flags are literally deal breakers that you would usually run away from. Right?
Gambling addiction.
Gamble. I don't think that's a red flag unless it's like you be betting some crazy shit. Like you have $1,000 in your bank account and you bet all 1,000. That's crazy. But I like the thing about red flags is and it's often females that actually ignore this. Again, I'm not speaking for every female or anything like that. I'm just speaking off of experience. Um, when a female is in that mood where it's like this relationship is new, this relationship is convenient. Remember that word. I'm gonna get back to it. Convenient. They will ignore red flags because that means they have to go back to being single again. right? No, no. Let's be real. Unless you're a true introvert, and nobody is always a true introvert, unless you're somebody who prefers to be in the room by themselves 24/7. You're gonna like somebody. You're gonna want somebody to be there. You know what I'm saying? So if you had a choice between taken and single with somebody you are attracted to, you're gonna take. You know, you're gonna want to be taken. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is that messes them up is the infatuation, right? The idea of the person, right? Of what they can become, and this is where potential comes in. What they can become, right? Not what they are, not what they are, not who they are, but what they can become. And I don't get me wrong, I'm somebody who loves potential. I love to see the potential in people. But if I'm going for you based on what you can become and not who you are, right? That means everything. If I'm going based off that mindset, that means everything that's about to happen, I'm going based off of what may happen in the future, right? So I feel let's go with just a random person. I feel this guy or this girl can, I don't know, bring me happiness, listen to me all the time, um, and probably fill in a hole that somebody else left, right? Simple shit. But when you met them, they weren't that person, right? When you got to know them, they weren't that person. So now your goal now to make sure you didn't make the wrong choice is to help them get to what you feel they should be. But that's not who they are, right? Males, we go for what we see, right? The girls, if a girl's bad, right there, right there. I'm looking at you, right? If a girl has a great personality, right there. Now you get to stay in my house, right? That's just it. Appearances, like I knock at your door, hello, right? You have a nice house here, but then personality is what I see when I go in there. Like if I knock on the door, it's a pretty house. I walk in, you invite me in. I walk in, you got roaches and shit all over the place, right? That means I ain't no way in hell I'm staying here. Ain't no way in hell I'm staying here because you don't get me wrong, your house is pretty, but the inside of your house is shit, right? That's what it means to have to look good and have a bad personality, right? Now some people, right, and this is where people emphasize personality, and sometimes you can have the looks and everything like that. Some people can just be like, that's an alright house, that's an okay house, right? Knock on the door, can I come in? Yeah, you can come in. Right, I go in. You got a jacuzzi? What? You got a widescreen? What? You got the PS5? Hold up. Hold up. Yo, bathroom clean? What? Like, when that happens, right, that means you just took a chance. That means you're like, that person looks alright. I'm probably not as attracted to them as I could be, but they still look attractive to me. And their personality just rocketed it. Now, next thing you know, every time you see the outside of that house, it looks even better than what you've seen it before because you're remembering the inside of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it goes.
Don't type So one thing that I see that's like it's not good relationship advice is keep her happy or keep him happy. It's like no, you should be happy before you get into the relationship. You should not be depending on someone to make you happy. If that's the case, eventually when they have an off day or a bad day, you're gonna be like, "Oh God, this situation is terrible. Why did I do this?" Don't completely depend on someone to be your happiness. You should be here. You should be at a 100, and then when you're with this person, like, "Damn, we won 50. God, I love this." That's where your relationship should be. You should not be 100% depending on someone else. That relationship is not gonna last. It's gonna fall apart. You're supposed to be building each other up.
That's valid. That's valid. The issue I have, the biggest issue I have, right, is social media saying, girls want this type of, and we've all heard it. Not the majority of guys hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I want this type of guy. I want this type of guy, and they never go for this type of guy, right? And this goes back into what I said with potential is that if you want, let's put it in money value. Let's put it in money value. If you want somebody that makes 50K, right? I'm lowballing here. If you want somebody that makes 50K, the ideal situation is to go for somebody who makes 50K, right? But instead, you try to go for somebody who makes 20K and then try to think you can get them to 50K, right? And then you complain because that person's rather be at 20K and just chill out, right? That's the issue. And again, I'm not saying all females. I'm not. Don't crucify me. You can cancel me because I ain't even on a TV show. But but majority of you guys go based off of what you can turn somebody into because you can have the bragging rights to say I did that, right? So you don't go for what you want, right? You go for what you think you want. You know what I'm saying? And even worse, right? If I can, and I love comparing food. As you can see, I'm a big dude, right? Well, Jared, what's your favorite food? Let's something simple. What's your favorite thing to get at McDonald's?
Shit, if I get anything, it's a double quarter pounder
Double
with
quarter pounder
cheese.
with cheese, right? With cheese, right? So Jared goes to McDonald's. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs. Double quarter pounder with cheese. But there's something new on the menu. A Mc. Let's say the McRib is new. McRib, right? McRib's new, right? But then you also see fries. You also see nuggets, everything like that. But you knew entering the store you wanted a quarter pounder with cheese, right? So this is how it happens. This is how it happens. So even though you go into the store knowing what you want and know what you need, you see everything else that's flashy. You see everything else that's poking out at you, even though you already know what you want and need. Then you try everything. Turns out you're allergic to pork or some
Damn.
shit. Right? You never knew you was, but now you're allergic to pork, whatever the McRib's made out of. I don't know what the fuck it is, but you're allergic to whatever it's made out of. Right? So now you're gagging, and you regret not going for that quarter pounder and cheese. Right? You're like, damn, I tried. You know what I mean? And issue is now you go back to that quarter pounder. Mind you, you knew what you wanted, you knew what you needed, but you went for something else. So now you go back for that quarter pounder and cheese. Turns out McDonald's is all out of quarter pounder and cheese. Now your ass got to settle for some damn chicken nuggets, right? Because your ass wanted some damn McRib when you wanted some quarter pounder and cheese, right? That's legit how it goes, bro. That's legit how it goes. That's why we always say men are simple. We are simple creatures. We are simple beings. Why? Because we want something and we're like, that's what we want. That's what we're going to try to get. That's it, right? And then women overthink everything we do. Again, I'm not saying all women. I'm not. But women overthink everything we do, right? If I say 2 plus 2 is 4, that you're the woman will be like, well, it could be 2 times 2. It could be 8 divided by 2. It could be the square root of 16. I ain't say all that. I just said 2 plus 2 is 4. Right? You coming up with all these other processes to get the same answer I just solved in 2 seconds. Like, calm down, calm down. But that's why I feel like our misunderstanding happens is because everybody loves to speak on their perspective and they love to say their perspective, and but you never really listen. You hear them, you don't really listen. Listening is to be able to give back feedback, right? And try to help them solve a situation or at least repeat what they said, but add your own words to it. You get what I'm saying? But people don't do that nowadays. People just want to talk, right? You feel somebody doesn't understand you, right? Meanwhile, they could have been understanding you the whole time, but you're not looking for an answer. You're just looking for them to just be quiet and listen, right? But they're showing you that they listened by repeating what you said and adding their own flavor to it.
And kind of to go back to your McDonald's analogy because it works so well. Sometimes you like I love McFlurries, right? But damn, their ice cream machine is always broken. No matter how many times I go, I can never get a McFlurry. But instead of saying, you know what? How about I just get a lemonade? Nah. I'm gonna just keep going back for the McFlurry, no matter how many times it's broken, no matter how many times I'm disappointed, no matter how many times the McFlurry hurts me, I keep getting the McFlurry. Sometimes the item on your menu that you choose is just not good, and you got to change up your palate. maybe you get the double quarter pounder every time, but you know what? Every time they make it, homie is touching raw chicken and then making your burger, and you get food poisoning.
Hey yo,
Stop getting the double quarter pounder. Change your menu item.
hey yo, this man said raw chicken.
He's just
Touch
like,
it,
I'm gonna play with this now, make your burger. Food poisoning. Bam.
you dumbass.
Change the item on the menu. Change up
Yo,
your palate. Sometimes you have to.
yo.
Maybe you just need a salad. Shoot, I don't know.
Oh god. Okay, so useful log. I'm gonna say it that way. Useful log says, but like, how do I get out the friend zone? So I've been in this a lot. I've seen there are a couple instances I got out. The biggest thing to get out the friend zone is to no longer be the friend. Right. That's as simple as I can put it. Is you're in the friend zone. You're now the cushion. Right. You're now the fallback. You're like, right, this guy doesn't like me. I can go talk to this guy who's gonna give me what I want from this guy, but for free. So I don't got to give him that much attention. He's just gonna be able to provide it there for me. Right? That's the friend zone basically. It's just his name is Kevin. The comment is from Kevin. All right, but basically, you just want to make yourself not a convenience, and this is why I said you gotta come back to that word convenience. Right? You don't want to make yourself a convenience because uh, Kevin says, and I quote, "I live with you." I know Kevin. I know. Right. Actually, I can even speak on this. So there was this girl in college, right? There was this girl in college, and I was the guy she talked to about everything, like her family issues, her current boy troubles, and everything like that. And every time she got hurt, she would message me, and I would always tell her the same exact thing. Right? I always tell her, "Yo, you're going after the wrong type of people. Right? You're going after the same type, but in a different mask, basically."
Ice cream machine broken. Stop.
Exactly. Right. You but now what I realized is I made myself a convenient tool. Right. So she knew that every time she got hurt, she had somebody that she could run back to and talk to, get the comfort of a boyfriend without being able to pay up the price of having one. Right. So all you gotta do, just to sum it up, basically, is just don't be convenient. Right. Try to not. You could still be a friend. Don't get me wrong. Just don't be that much of a convenient friend for when they are hurt and everything like that. Right. If they come to you, don't get me wrong. If they come to you, don't reject them. Don't be like, I ain't gonna talk to you. Right. Fuck you and your third boyfriend or some shit. Right. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. But you should be the one to like not hit them up as often. Right. Don't do that. Like cut back a little bit. Just a little bit. If you hit them up 5 times a month, make it three. All right, it's the simple things. You want them to feel that they're losing you, just a little bit, right? Which tends to bring a people a lot more closer when they realize they could have lost something that they were so comfortable with, right? That's just my opinion on how to get out the friend zone.
I get that. I mean, some people like that's actually a better way to do it. But some people just say like cut them off because it's like sometimes they'll be like, nah, you're only in the friend zone because you're allowing yourself to stay in the friend zone. Like if you truly have romantic interest with them, and like no matter how much you try and push, they're always like, no, you're like a brother to me, you're like a friend. You're like you can be just like, all right, I don't want that though, and then you just walk away. Do you lose a friend slash potential interest? Probably. But you're no longer in the friend zone because you know that person is not romantically interested in you. You're no longer wasting your time. You're no longer wasting their time. And maybe just because you stop paying attention to them so much, no, don't beg them. Don't get down on your knees. Don't make a scene. And crying does not work.
He's he's a whole fool, dog. He's a whole fool. But literally though, time's gonna come. Like, I don't like to be that person that says like, oh, what's meant to be is meant to be. I'm not that type of person. I always feel like what's meant to be is just more of an opportunity, not a result. It's more of an opportunity, which means if this girl doesn't see your value, that ain't the girl, right? Right? The opportunity presented itself for you, and you did the right things. The opportunity is presenting itself for her, and she's not choosing it, right? So that just means you go for somebody else. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen people get out the friend zone and ended up in a relationship, right? Actually, to be fair, I'm the exact person who emphasizes friendship before relationship first. Right? I always tell every female I meet that I want to talk to, let's be friends first. Right? I want to get to know you before I even try something. Right? It's backfired on me twice. But I'm even gonna say backfired. Saved me. My bad. Saved me, not backfired. Right? Because one girl, again, I'm not releasing names and stuff like that. But one girl turned out to be a damn, how do I say it without being canceled? You,
Without
you
being
you know the Amber Rose slut walk? She would gladly walk that. Like it was that, right? So you can't cancel me because I said she would participate in something empowering, right? So there was that, and then there was another one who was basically a stalker, like
ah,
within 2 days of exchanging numbers, she wanted to come to my job. She wanted to just see me all the time, and I'm just like freaked out because you just got my number like 2 days ago. Like I don't know
relax.
you. You know what
It's
I'm
like
saying?
breathe.
And that's the whole reason why I emphasize it. But I think that, and this is how it kind of relates back to our grandparents. My grandfather is the one who taught me, of course, how to react and be to females. And one of the biggest things was being their friends first, right? You want to make sure you get to know them because you want to see what happens when they're angry. You want to see what happens when they're mad at whoever, right? If there's somebody who's gonna talk shit and then act friendly in front of their face, right? You want somebody like you want to look out for that kind of thing because as your friends, you're kind of now in a front row seat to how they're gonna react in life, right? And when you like what they're doing, right? When you see that they're smart, when you see that they have a good personality, they don't even got to be rich, they don't got to be wealthy, they don't got to have, all their life together. Nobody really has their life together, right? But when you see the things, you're now seeing all the pros and all the cons, and the pros list is like this, and the cons list is like this. Then now you're just like, all right, now we could try something. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I always am in the friend zone a lot because of that exact thing. However, it's also because females make the fucking greatest wingmen ever. 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 If they have a cute friend, right? If they have a cute friend and they my friend, I could be like, yo, put me onto your friend. And they'd be like, I got you. Right? Next thing you know, I get the friend number. Right? Now I'm the friend, right? So now I'm the friend's friend, right? And I'm cool with it. And then I find out, oh, your friend crazy. Okay, tell your friend we just gonna chill out. We gonna be friends. We just staying friends. Like I can't really deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me, Jared, into something that I've seen all over TikTok, all over social media, everywhere. And me and you have discussed this before. Dating outside your race. Yay or nay, Jared? Yay or nay?
Personally, I don't really care. Like if you like them, you like them. It's really that simple to me. It also kind of depends on where you go. Like where you go to school, where you grew up, like the environment you kind of grew up in. Also depends on like who you see and like based on your preference a little bit. But probably in your life, you will probably meet someone. You're definitely gonna meet someone out of your race. You're like, damn, they're dope as hell. I would love to be with them. Like that. That's guaranteed to happen. There's too many people in the world who be like, nah, I never met anyone, but this type's like, nah. You've met someone probably in every race that you like. I can see myself with them. You can be with who you're going to be with. Now, obviously, depending on your family, some people's families are different. Some people's family, they don't care. They be like, all right, cool, they're dope. Some people are like, how dare you date outside? And you're like, bro, relax. It's really not that. It's like, no, this is sacrilege. And you're like, bro, what's
Yeah,
going
damn.
on? How dare it's, bro, relax. It's not that deep.
Oh god.
But I mean, like how they mix with your family does matter to a degree. Like if they're always fighting with your family, but it's like they're just like if they're just an asshole to your family, that's different. But if they're cool and your family's just being dicks to them, that's completely different. That's something you have to like either work out with your family or you just like, all right, y'all over there now until y'all can figure your stuff out.
Okay.
Because this person's dope and you're not even giving them a chance. You're not working anything out with them.
So
It's not worth it.
one thing I've noticed, and this is low key when I don't joke around and I do still. For black men, especially, is we're criticized for dating outside of our race, right? Which to me makes no fucking sense, but it makes sense at the same time. But hear me out. I base criteria of dating based off of how you treat me. That's it. I base off how you treat me, what we could build together. Do you want kids or not? Like that kind of thing, right? All those aspects before I even take in consideration what skin color you are, right? And if somebody were to look back on all my exes, majority of them are Hispanic, right? But I love my dark skinned girls. I love dark skinned women as well. But if I were to walk in with a Stephanie, right? If I were to walk in my
Perfect.
house with a Stephanie, right, or an Ashley, right?
Ashla.
Gotta hit your shots, kid. Hit your shots. But nah. If I were to walk in with one of them, see, this is why I love that I have an understanding family. Don't get me wrong, my family will roast the shit out you, but they are understanding. If I bring home a Caucasian female, right, first thing my parents are gonna do is roast the shit out of her. Like, my dad will probably make her cry, but it's not gonna be anything with what she looked like. He's just gonna probably talk about how she can't season chicken or some shit, right? Like, but that's just because
Light roast. It's a little
like
burn.
like a light roast, yeah.
A little
Because
burn.
but he cooks a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad cooks a lot, so he probably emphasize food. Right? He'll actually connect it to me. He'll be like, "How you gonna feed that fat man when he can't season his chicken?" Like you know what I'm saying? That's something he would say, right? But then we walk out the street, and people would look at me and be like, "Yo, he's dating a white girl. Like, oh, he's a coon. He's a sellout. He's this and that." No, they're disregarding how she's treating me. They're disregarding, how me and her match up. They're disregarding everything that makes a relationship because of her skin color. Which, and again, this is just speaking, was the same exact thing that they did back in the 30s, 50s, and before, right? When it was a white woman and a black man, and they hanged the black man for being with the white woman, right? And emphasize my daughter ain't gonna marry no, you know what I mean? Like that's just it. Uh, Even in Chestnut Hill, we had an instance where a parent wouldn't let a female date a black man, right? And we're thinking like in this time, day and age, how is that still relevant, right? Like how is that still a thing, right? But you're gonna have social justice warriors. You're gonna have that, right? People who actually more react off emotion than actual fact, right? Uh, Let me just read the comment real quick.
Bruh.
Us black men need to do to the white woman. Oh shit! What is he saying? What the white what man has done to us, man? Hey yo! Hey
Stefan, you
yo! Stefano shit. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna put this on YouTube, so I ain't gonna read the whole thing. All right. Uh, Kevin says, "Do you think there is a double standard on white people to only date whites is frowned upon, but the other races is not bad to look at it that way?" I think it is. I think there's a double standard. I think there's a huge double standard with that, right? Actually, there's even a bigger double standard with it because you got people like, and nah, I can't, I'm gonna say it later, but you got people, black women especially, dating a Kevin, Kevin's Caucasian, right? You have black women dating you, right, Kevin? And they're told that they moved up, they stepped up, they moved up the ladder. They didn't get a Tyrone, they got a Tommy, that whole thing, and they're met with congratulations, fanfare, and cheers, right? But then we do it, right? They disregard everything that made her go for that dude, which was more than likely he treated her right, right? We get bashed for it as black men, right? Now, I'm not saying black men go out here and get you a white girl. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is date who the fuck you want. It don't affect me. It don't affect my damn cat who locked outside the room. Don't affect Jared. Don't affect everybody in the chat. Don't affect none of us. Right? What's your preference is your preference. But key thing, key thing. You can have a preference. Just don't bash somebody else with that preference.
Yeah, don't be that dude where it's like, I only date this one because they're so much better than my kind, and everyone's like, whoa, what you talk about, bro? Everyone gonna give you a look, and you're probably gonna get your ass whooped, probably. but but honestly, I was kind of thinking about it, and like the best way to determine if you really like someone, like seeing them at their worst is probably better than seeing them at their best, because like especially like eating out is the I think that's the best way to test someone, because like when you take them out, right? Don't go to like a nice restaurant. Go to like Applebee's. Go to somewhere where they might mess something up. So like for me, like a great example, I went out to dinner with a couple coworkers after work, right? So there was a new waiter. He was like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" I just started working, and we're like, "All right, cool. I don't care. Whatever. Good. That never eat you." So he comes back up with us today, brings the waters, right? Homie stumbles and spills the waters all over me, like like all over me. It was cold, but I just sat there and I was like, "Oh damn, that kind of sucks." And he's like freaking out. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like, relax, it's water, bro. Like, I didn't care. Like it happens. Accidents happen. Now, to be fair though, if he like spilled like hot tea on me, I'd probably react a little differently because it's
Yeah.
painful. But if like I'm virtually unharmed, it's just cold water. You're cool. Like if they order something right and someone messes up their order, it's like I want a grilled chicken not fried, and they like explode on the waiter. That tells me plenty about you. That right there, I'm like, all right, red flag. You if you blow up over just getting the wrong type of chicken, how are you going to react in an actual like bad situation where something goes wrong? Like that's something you got to figure out, because like a wrong order, like to me especially, I really don't care as long as it's something I'll eat. I'm fine with it. Like because I always go by the rule is, hey, they make you food, so don't piss them off. you better you better you
Yeah.
better you better treat them good.
Oh my God. And people don't understand that
like
part.
like if I
That
order
part
a
right there.
hamburger and they give me a grilled chicken wrap, I'll be like, I mean, I kind of wanted a burger, but I do like grilled chicken. I'm cool with that. like,
No, no. All right. You ain't gonna mess up my burger with my chicken. But this is for all the people who don't fucking realize this by now. Never yell at the people serving your food, as Jared says, because again, you could be missing something. You could be bubble bath missing the pickles from the burger. And he's like, let me get some pickles. And then they bring the food back. Next thing you know, you got a whole loogie in there, right?
they rub
Probably,
their ass on the burger.
yeah. Or they dug up their butt and, like. And here's the thing, you won't know because you're not inspecting every layer of the burger to see what was going on, right? That's just it. Like I don't think people. It's funny people really don't understand that. You do not ever yell at people or mistreat people until you get your food. Until you get your food.
When you're safe.
When you're safe, right? When you get your food, you're fine. But not before. Like you don't be that daft. Okay. But yeah, uh, definitely there's too many double standards in this world, and it will take way more than an hour to go over every single one of them and why they're stupid. Uh, but it just comes down to the fact that double standards will not be, you know, will not be eradicated until until everybody is viewed as the same, which again will not be eradicated because we won't be viewed as the same anytime soon. So we have a comment here saying, going back to the friend zone, I've had a girl who I thought was my friend actually block me from talking to one of her friends behind my back. This is a girl who I actually thought about dating and they knew it, but she actively sabotaged my chances. You had a girl you thought was your friend, blocked you from talking to her friend. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I got a question for that. I got a question for that. You already had the discussion with this person and had an understanding? Because if that was the case, if you had an understanding and a complete understanding, no, I didn't say if she knew. I said did she understand? Knowing just means all right. Now I know I'm gonna fuck shit up. Like you know what I mean. Understanding means all right, cool. I'm gonna let you do you. Right? I understand. You know, do you do what you gotta
I mean,
do?
would it be the same? Would that matter though? Because
I,
it's like if you're talking to your one girlfriend, right, and you're like, "Hey, I really like your friend," and she's like, "Okay, cool." Like you don't. There's not really much to understand. It's like, hey, he likes her, and then you're like, "Nah, I can't. I'm not gonna let him get with her."
See, but that's the part of the understanding is just the fact that if she knows, like you tell her, like, hey, I'm doing this or I'm trying to do this, and she just knows, like, all right, fine, all right. She if she's trying to flat out block you, she didn't understand, right? She didn't want that. She just knew of it and was like, we ain't gonna have that. We just not gonna have that. Yeah, she didn't want to understand it. Because if there is no actual reason to block you, right? No factual, no logical reason to block you. Maybe she thought you was a damn hoe or some shit. Damn, I'm about to be canceled. But but if
That's
she
right.
if she had a logical reason to do that, I would understand. But if there's no logical reason, then she didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? But again, the friend zone is just a friend zone. It does exist, sadly, guys. Um, I see people trying to say it doesn't. It does exist. Hell, we put women in the friend zone, right? We do. We have female friends that at first, like some friends at first, we're just like not really attracted to you right now, right? But then as we grew up and got better, we start looking back at our friends like, kind of looking good right there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. Male perspective changes over time in regards to attraction. You know what I'm saying? And people don't realize that, right? I have female friends that I didn't look at twice in high school, right? It wasn't that they were unattracted to me. I just didn't look at them that way, right? As I got older, they basically stayed the same, right? They looked the same and everything like that. But to me, as I started to change and experience more life and growth, they start to look different in regards to my own perspective. Like I didn't know your lips look like that. What? Like you know what I mean? But that's a whole thing. Is that men tend to again? It's a whole simple thing. It's a whole simple thing. We tend to just become something and know what we want over time and everything like that. What we want actually doesn't really change for years. Actually, like I think
Food,
it's
sleep.
food, sleep, finance, comfort, and you already know the fifth one. No, we all know that, right? That's basically what a man needs is those things, right? If you can give him comfort, you know, Kevin, I'm about to ban you from my chat. No, I'm playing. I think a key emphasis also as well is that I'm seeing a lot more women now have anxiety, um, and their boyfriends or the person they're talking to doesn't know how to deal with it. Um, Sadly, I would say like 75% of my past relationships and was with a female who had anxiety before a relationship. So there's things such as anxiety attacks. There's things in which they will overthink everything. Because anxiety is basically just not knowing what's going to happen. That's all it is. It's just viewing the extreme of it, everything. You know. But definitely, guys, for males out there, I definitely will say, like, if nowadays brush up on what anxiety actually is and kind of adapt to handling it, right? For your potential female partner, or if you're male and you roll that way for your potential male partner, um, because that is something that will literally be a huge detail, a huge factor as you guys get older. Is dealing with anxiety, you dealing with her anxiety, and it should eventually become so natural that you just know how to do it. All right, so Kevin, I think Kevin took like some ecstasy or some shit.
Also, ladies, your time is now. If you like a guy, tell him because of how the environment has changed. Guys are a lot more cautious. So, hey, you like him, tell him.
Yep. That.
I'm just
Yep.
you got a pretty good chance of success. And if you're like, well, what if he says no? That's how we feel. Now you know how we feel.
For I would say for a good chunk of you guys, for a good chunk. I'm not saying again. I'm not speaking generally like but a good chunk of you guys. If you want to shoot your shot on a guy, do it. If he denies you, more than likely you have another guy like waiting for you to reply back or something like that. Like that's literally how that's literally how it goes. Like you more than likely, if you find yourself an attractive female, if you yourself view yourself as an attractive female, right? You have more than one admirer. No matter, even if you're like, you're attractive, but you kind of humble yourself a bit. You have more than one admirer, right? If you post a picture of just your face and it got 10,000 likes on Instagram, that you have more than fucking one admirer, right? Don't be like I'm shy, right? I think everybody, Jared, actually should be shooting their shot a lot more because the worst thing that could happen is no. Unless you're somebody who like slides in a DM and says some crazy shit, and they post it or some shit. Other than that, I think everybody should shoot their shot. If you like if you like a girl, if you like a guy out there, bro, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. All right. If they say no, move on. Somebody else shoot their shot. All right. That's just how it go. All right. Because the worst thing in life, one of the worst things in life, is what ifs. Right? One of the worst things. What if I took that chance? What if I hadn't been there that day? What if I had asked her this way? What if this happened? Because what ifs don't happen again. Right? They're stuck in the past and you can't change nothing about it. Right? So it's gonna dwell on you because every missed opportunity will present itself later in a different form. Right? So it won't be the same exact opportunity again. Right? You don't take a job at that Fortune 500 company. Now you're wondering, what if I did? Next thing you know, you got a new job somewhere else. But then when you get that new job, you're wondering, what if I had taken the other job? You know what I'm saying? Or if I had taken the other job, what would have happened if I did that? What would happen to me now? Right? You don't really like what ifs. You don't, and you kind of want to not. Look, why regret something when you can know? Exactly. As Kevin says, why regret when you can know? Right? You listen. As the famous line goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Right? You could be Shaq at the free throw all you want, but Shaq still made a couple free throws. All I'm saying, right? That man shoot with like he was like this, and then he like let the ball go and put his hand out like that. Right? Shaq still made shots. Right? Wayne Gretzky, I don't know hockey like that. I don't know something. I think something happened to me growing up with my thing.
Yo, there's a dude in high school. I remember in high school, there was a dude on the other team, and he shot like this. He had the ball like this, and he would flick it up like that. And everyone was like, what the hell? But he made it, though. That was the thing. Like he hit him.
Legit. Like no bullshit. I think as we get older, look how it is. Look how it is. You see how growing up as kids, right? We were kids. We didn't fear rejection, right? If a girl liked you or something, you told her straight out, or you tapped her on the shoulder, or you when everybody was playing tag, you only chased her. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't really care for rejection, right? If she said she didn't like you, you went back to your boys. You was just like, I'm gonna play football or something, right? Right now, and I feel like low key society teaches us to not take no for an answer, right? Because back then we hear no and we go about our day, right? The crush told you no, you went about your day. Now, right? People are so scared to get rejected by their crush, but then that's even worse, right? Being scared to do something is even worse than doing it and getting the result that you feared, right? Fear is just not knowing, right? If you went into shark infested waters and they tell you all them sharks don't bite people like at all, period, like I don't know if that's possible, but they tell you all them sharks just don't bite, right? Your fear of getting in the water is the initial fear. You get into that water and you get out, you're like, damn. And now you're more prone to go back in those same exact waters, right? Because that initial fear is gone. They said the same with skydiving for those who go skydiving. The initial fear is when you're in the plane. You actually jump out, your fear is gone. Now it's just adrenaline.
And then the parachute don't open.
Yeah. But then you make it to the ground, and what you were scared of, you're no longer scared of. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my suggestion, you guys. Shoot your shot. All right, shoot your shot. You know, if they friend zone, shoot your shot. If you find them attractive, shoot your shot. If you shot your shot last year, shoot it again. If you shot your shot yesterday, we'll do it again, but in a different way. Nah, don't do that. But
It's not the rejection though. It's the L.
it's
You
the
don't
L.
you don't want the ill.
L.
The ill
L.
destroys your life.
Nah, because the one thing I noticed, I mean, this is where it kind of goes into things. We see, and don't get me wrong, guys. Like I'm not in no position to say this, but we see attractive people get with unattractive people, and unattractive people get with attractive people. We've seen that, right? Because they treated each other well, right? Somebody out of those two took the chance and said, "I'm gonna do it," right? All the time. Somebody out of those two took the chance and said, "All right." Like that's all it was. That's all it was. Your life can change in literally one DM or one speaking if you guys are that close speaking. Right, one FaceTime call, everything like that. So that's just my suggestion, guys. Shoot your shot. Don't be scared. And I know for a lot of people now because social media and internet's a thing. Long distance isn't long distance unless they live like on the other side of the country. If it's like a 1 hour plane ride or something like that, that's not long distance. Just a heads up. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Any words, Jared, before we get out?
Chicken goes good with mustard.
I hate you, Tom. Oh shit! What the fuck is that? Okay. Oh shit! All right, so guys, we are gonna be. Oh shit! Overdose said you're wrong.
Oh,
Oh!
word? No, I
Oh!
was just saying that I don't put mustard on my chicken.
Yeah, I don't either.
Actually, no, it's spicy mustard sometimes, but like in a chicken sandwich though. Other than that, like not really.
I'll put honey mustard if anything. But yeah. All right, so guys, that is the podcast for today. You can find it on YouTube tomorrow. So you already know. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Always a shout out to John, bro. Shout out to John, Kevin. Shout out to Overdose. Shout out to Stefan. Everybody coming through. You know, showing love. Shout out to Queen.
How y'all do?
um, I am now after this one coming up. I am putting a suggestion box in my Twitch. So any topics you guys want us to talk about, we can. Um, and if it's an unusual topic, then we can give us some time to research what's about and things like that. And for those who don't know, you know, after every stream, I gotta host a streamer, and it looks like Mr. Kevin, is actually live right now. So as soon as this ends, we shall go over to him. So you guys have a good one. Have a good night.
Good night.
And we'll see y'all.